Welcome, everyone, to Fort Worth, Texas for the Two in Texas, sponsored by Penguin RC. I am Chad Irvine, aka CubeCast, and here with me, as always, in the booth is Dylan Livengood, here to have a good time with our wonderful producer, Zack Johnson, behind the buttons that I can never figure out how to click in the right direction. But anyway, here in Fort Worth, Texas, the first oval race of the season, the first dual event format of the season as well. We got a couple of those coming up between here in Texas, as well as two races in Detroit in a couple of weeks. Going to be a fun one there, and getting set for some qualifying. A couple of guys already setting down some blistering fast times. And throughout this practice, just from talking to drivers, Dylan, so far, what a session it's been so far.
Yeah, the sun's getting ready to set here over this Texas Motor Speedway, and it's going to be an exciting, action-packed night with our doubleheader going on.
Yeah, David Adams so far has the fastest time of qualifying at a 24.076. And that's surprising compared to what I was talking to some drivers about. I think it was one of the Kingsburys, I can't remember which, said that we'd probably be in the 23.8s, 23.9s for qualifying just because of the low fuel and what we might be seeing with the cooler track temperatures. But a lot of drivers right now seeming to be very calculated with their sets, trying to wait until the last second, letting the track temperatures drop as they get set to set some very fast lap times out there. And Ray Kingsbury, out of nowhere, jumps up to the top, 24.060. What a blistering fast pace for him right now. And I believe we're taking a look here at the is that the 24 now, diving back to the inside? Sorry, that was the 21 of Matt Kingsbury. I think that was. Here we go.
Yeah, no surprise there with the Kingsbury's up top. Looks like they calculated that down to the wire to be able to get those fast lap times.
And there's a look at Jack Belton working his way. He completed, I believe that was his second lap. We saw him here in Twitch chat just before qualifying went live. It's always great to see the drivers getting involved. Jack Belton, I saw Trevor Teal in there as well. I think that's Harley Moss in there maybe as well. So three drivers at least, with the Alexa there as well. So shout out to everybody watching over in Twitch land. Here, more and more drivers getting their laps, and that's a look at Travis Seymour in the 144 for the Dirt Esport team, getting his laps turned in. He's currently sitting 17th on the grid as more and more drivers get their laps completed. Kieran Big Dog Forrest really struggling here in qualifying. He came in 22nd and last in the session, just getting as many laps in practice as he possibly can. It looks like Josh Klog taking his sweet time getting out there. Will he be able to get a lap in, as he's just now leaving pit road?
Yeah, the name of the game is to try to wait as much as you can, like you said, to wait for those track temperatures to cool down, but you can't wait too long or else you definitely won't get a chance to try to hit a lap.
Yeah, I'll say he's just coming now 13 seconds off. He's not going to get this. This lap is not going to count for him. I'm surprised. He just connected. He was the last driver to connect. I don't think he's going to be able to get this lap to count. He's just now working his way down the back straightaway. Yeah, the session has ended, so he's going to have to start from the back, I do believe.
Yeah, we did see where track position was key on road courses. We're going to see here if it's going to make any difference here on the oval.
Yeah, talking to drivers before this race, this is the first, of course, dual race of the season. But from talking to all of them, they're not concerned at all about the format itself. They just want to work their way up through the field, try to be up there and avoid the danger when it does happen. But drivers starting here to take the grid for the first session of the night. And it's going to be your pole sitter, Matt Kingsbury, on the pole. And those guys over at Dirt Esport must have something figured out, because Matt Kingsbury setting the pole with a 24.006 with John Goke in the second spot, just behind him by less than a couple of thousandths of a second. And then it's Ray Kingsbury and David Adams, and David Schofield in fifth. Dan Ench and Victor Valley, followed by Chance Manning, Wesley Blanton in 9th, and wrapping up your top 10 is Harley Moss.
And Christian Malachek is going to roll off the grid 11th, Travis Seymour in 12th, Seth Rawls 13th, Joe Branch 14th, Cody Erdman 15th, Trevor Teal starting in the 16th spot, 17th, Jack Belton. Number 98 of Victor Aldrich going to roll off 18th, Blake Reynolds 19th, and Michael Berry 20th.
So Blake Reynolds did get that time in there to get him to start 19th, unable to improve. And then Brian Sohn, of course, going to start in 21st. Then Kieran Big Dog Forrest, followed by Christopher Hickman. Josh Clogg then further back, and then Robbie the Real taking up the 25th spot. Those last 3 drivers unable to set a time in qualifying. But man, this event is going to be unpredictable from the get-go. We're going to get the cars rolling here momentarily as you see their setup. I wish we had Le Mans start here in iRacing because that's what they're lined up for.
Giving the fans a show there. They're going to be going pretty fast here in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, we've seen these guys put on a fantastic show from Road America in week 1, and here we go, getting set for from the northern border of Canada to the southern border in Texas against Mexico, from one coast to the other. And these guys already just going to have some fun with it, talking to a bunch of the drivers before the race. Just they don't know what to expect. This dual format's going to play very interesting as the night goes on, as these cars now start to form up going down the backstretch. Dylan, what are your thoughts? Any predictions you've got for the race?
You know, I think it's going to be completely blown wide open here with these guys. I mean, we got the top 20 within a couple of tenths of each other. So I think at this point it's anyone's game. Kind of try to mind your strategy. Don't get too close too early and just send it.
Yeah, the big thing is going to be tire temperatures here on these opening laps. It takes a little while for you able to be running flat out in clean air. And of course, they're going to be working on that weight checker the entire time around. But the iRacing pace car getting set to work its way down towards pit road. Matt Kingsbury leads the field here. The pace car is off. Waiting for the green is Kingsbury. And the revs start to rise. And here we go. Getting a great jump with John Goke getting the jump in behind him. So the teammates now 1 and 2. Can Kingsbury get clear of Adams for the second spot? They dive into turn 1, and we are single file your first 4.
Yeah, and everyone driving really ladylike, giving each other plenty of room here. Long race, bunch of laps ahead of them.
Yeah, and a couple of drivers looks like they have missed the start, the 33 and the 72. The 33, that is Christian.
Oh, and we got one around in the back.
And that's the 64 of Mike Berry. Wow. He was talking over the radio, come through 1 and 2. I'm not sure what he said. I did see his name pop up. He must have gotten loose into the wall in turns 1 and 2. Wow. So it was Christian Malarchek as well as Wesley Blanton that missed the start. Here's a look at the replay, seeing what happened to him. Mike Berry there, that green and white car on the inside. Possibly some netcode contact. I'm not sure who that was from, but Mike Berry definitely checked up on the bottom getting into the corner. So yeah, wow. Here's a look down the back, and you can kind of see him here. Right behind that Team Watson racing machine of Victor Aldrich. He clipped the apron. Yeah, clipped the apron, had to check up, and that's Brian Son that must have netcoded into him to collect him there. But I think that was mostly on his own doing. Mike Berry, unfortunate enough to get collected in that one.
Yeah, and it didn't really look like he went around in a natural way. I definitely think there was netcode that had something to do with it.
You know what? Just for the sake of it, let's bring in Mike Berry. He's our partner here in the booth. He brought out the caution. Mike, what happened out there?
I set the qualifying set, so I was trying to pit in just to get fuel, and then there's a bit of miscommunication kind of caused that little. I mean, it was more netcode than anything. There was about 6 inches we probably could have fit, but you know, we're gonna see if we can fix the little bit of damage we have. It's mainly just I think front wing and a little bit of suspension. So you know, maybe we can salvage something good here, and then we'll go to the second race.
Hey, Mike. Best of luck the rest of the way. Thanks for joining us here in the booth.
Thank you very much.
That's Mike Berry, driver of the number 64 beverage machine. unfortunate. It sounds like, yeah, he just had the wrong setup loaded, and that's something that seems to happen way too often at iRacing. I've had that happen to me maybe way too much.
I mean, definitely more than you'd like, right?
Yeah, I'll blame on everything else except for myself. I'll always blame the engineer. The engineer is never me. It's always, crew chief or whatever system I've got running. But yeah, right now, what a start that we had. I mean, the first, I think, 7 or 8 spots, by the time they got into turn 1, they were settled out. They were single file, and it was just shenanigans all through the back, which ended up with, you heard Mike Berry say he had the wrong setup loaded, trying to pit, and nobody expected him to pit behind. I would not expect Matt to, or I would not expect Matt. I would not expect anybody to be pitting on the first lap. So yeah, just surprising to see, as we got some guys on pit road already. But yeah, Mike Berry, the main one there. I think we're going to be coming to 1 to go here. Have to wait.
Yeah, and thankfully for Barry, he's going to have another shot here later on tonight.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing about these dual event setups that we have. Looks like the lights are still on the iRacing pace car, so at least one more lap of caution here as guys just now working their way down to pit road. But yeah, still your leader is Matt Kingsbury coming with the caution. So yeah, let's take a look real quick. We're only one event into the season, but we can look at the points for tonight. I believe your winner was Ray Kingsbury. Yes, last week in the driver's stands, followed by Josh Clark, Trevor Greenfield, then Blake Reynolds and David Schofield, your top 5. Followed by Kieran, the big dog himself, Forrest, taking home the 6-point spot last week. And then David Adams, Seth Rawls, Christian Malarchuk, and Joe Branch wrapping up your top 10. And got some more chat going on. It looks like, Mike Berry did chime in here saying that he did set his qualifying lap by accident. Other drivers that chimed in include, hi, Dry Grahamson, let's go Goke. All right, so we got some Goke fans in the chat. Alex Way talking to Matt, saying let's go Ray/Matt. Just cheering on the Kingsburys, I guess, over in that household. But I mean, they're easy to mix up. They're twins, born on the same day. Let's just say, hey, let's go Kingsbury, born on whatever the heck their birthday is. You can't get it wrong.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if anyone has anything for that top 3, especially the Kingsburys. I think Goke's probably going to be the Kingsburys' biggest enemy here early on.
Yeah, those front 2, they are teammates. They are running, I believe, the same setups through this race. So going to be interesting to watch where that plays out between the 2 of them. Something to note, your last week's winner, Trevor Greenfield, is not in the race tonight. He had a fantastic performance last time out, but unable to be here tonight. Other commitments gets in the way for him. So great to see him out last time, and he got the win there. His teammate that finished second, rankings, we're going to have to see if he can't keep the momentum going for that team. So looks like we are getting set to go green here this time. Only ran, I believe, about a lap last time by under the green flag, hoping to get more in this time as the drivers now work their way. And, does anything for you, Dylan, as you're kind of, you get set, you're all ready to go, and then a quick caution like that, does that kind of frazzle you at all?
Yeah, it does kind of ruin the momentum. You'd like to see things go green for at least a little bit longer early on, but, you get the first couple of hiccups out of the way, and hopefully we should have green flag racing from here on out.
We talk about the hiccups getting out of the way. The pace car now getting out of the way. Everybody stacks up behind Matt Kingsbury, and the green flag is out. He gets things rolling once again. It's Matt Kingsbury followed by John Goke, and single file all throughout behind him. Couple laps down is the 72 Wesley Blanton now working his way out. He's going to make up a lap, and it looks like Michael Berry ready to get his way back out there as well. Still single file all throughout the back, and wow, we've got some guys weaving all down the backstretch.
Yeah, just trying to break that draft any way that you can.
Thankfully, though, no harm, no foul. We get our first lap under green fully complete as cars continue to work their way around 75 laps here in the first race of 2 here from Fort Worth. And It's going to be a spectacular show so far, though still single file up front.
Yeah, and we actually had a pass for the lead there. Jonathan Gogue getting around Matt Kingsbury there on that first lap. And it looks like they're just going to sit here and ride.
Trying to ride, but Ray Kingsbury trying to go inside of his brother. He can't get the move done there. He backs out of it in turn number 1. And we got a car inside the inside wall down the back. That's the number 27 car. That's David Schofield. Turn 2 is going to be the danger zone to watch for tonight. And it looks like he's collected Victor Aldrich as well.
Yeah, and that is unfortunate. The backstretch wall does come up pretty quick here at Texas, though.
Yeah, if you're pushing too hard on cold tires, that's where cars are going to lose the back end. Let's see if we can't take a look here and try to figure out what happened to David Schofield, because Victor Aldrich, I think, was just a victim of this. As we see here, this is taking a look at the incident. And yeah, just washing up into it. You see him there collecting the inside wall, just spinning. And Victor, just nowhere for him to go. I think he had a car to his outside. So unfortunately for Victor Aldrich, just nowhere for him to go. Let's see if we can't get a cockpit view here of Victor Aldrich. See if we can't try to see what he sees throughout this replay here. Yeah, he just tried to go low. There was nowhere there for it with the car to his outside, and he just plowed right back into it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's going to knock his front wheels off, and that car's toast.
Yeah, here's a look at the onboard here with Victor. So you see him, you see the smoke there, and not sure where it's going to go. You see him kind of start to rise against, and just, yeah, the smoke that came off the car just left him nowhere to go. It started coming back across the track. He thought about going inside, and that's unfortunate to see for Team Watson Racing.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes when people bounce off the wall, you think they're going to be there or be in a different position than where you actually go, and it looks like he didn't travel up the track farther than he thought he was going to, and then just ended up getting collected.
So still, we did have that change for lead, Dylan, that you talked about. Goke in front of Kingsbury, and then Ray Kingsbury right behind. I don't think we're going to see too many takers on pit road yet. It's going to be a one-stop here. I think that drivers just have to kind of wait things out, just trying to see if anything's going to change between everybody, because, I mean, the way that things are working so far, it's just going to be a caution fest. You have to hope that things settle down.
Yeah, and I do believe that for the second race, these guys are going to be a lot wiser when it comes to how they start.
Speaking about how guys started, Kieran Big Dog Forrest, DGRX Motorsports, is asking in the chat, where's Big Dog? Big Dog started all the way back in the 18th spot, and he hasn't moved up nor down from there. He's lost a couple positions on track, but thankfully, fortunate for him, a couple of other guys have wrecked out. So he is working his way up. But yeah, Big Dog currently runs way back in the 18th position. Currently, though, still working our way under caution. I would believe that we're getting the one to go this time by, as there you see your leader in the Rainbow Warrior Goke scheme. And John Goke jumping in to the chat under caution. You're leading this race, Goke. What are you doing in the Twitch chat? That just shows I can't even drive straight, not under caution. I can't even drive straight down pit lane. This guy, he says he's bored. Wow.
Well, I guess that means he's got a lot of talent if he can multitask. Then that always makes me nervous when I see people start typing in chat.
Wow. I mean, we're 12 of 75 in. I would expect to see us to go green. Not this time by, but next time, working his way down the back. He says he's just kidding about being bored. Meanwhile, he's in our Twitch chat. Come on, man. Make up your mind. These guys, they're having fun with it. It's all in good fun. These guys know what they're doing out there. I'm not going to judge anybody for doing it. I'm sure he's having a laugh about it up there with his teammates down in the Dirt Esports chat. Looks like they've got a bunch of drivers out there. Goat, Kingsbury, Lareal, Rawls, and Seymour might be driving them here tonight. Travis Seymour, we've seen him both in the booth. He says, Goat says, okay, back to work. see you at the next caution. So great to see him join us in the chat. But no, Travis Seymour joins us. He's joined us from the booth for Rallycross and as well for GT cars in season 1. So great to see drivers everywhere getting us involved. So the lights on the iRacing pace car, you see them there. The lights are off, getting set to go green this time by here for heat 1 of the 2 in Texas. It's been quite a slow start, not too much action on track. So it's going to be Goke, then the 2 Kingsburys, then David Adams and Victor Valley, your top 5. Victor, I mean, that's kind of a surprise for me. He did not run the first event of the season, but decided to jump in. There you see the Zipstream Media car there of the 83 of Victor. Victor, of course, known for running the Norm schemes on the Tuesday night series here on Nitro Circus, especially in the big trucks. But he's tucked back there 5th in line. He's very talented in these Indy cars. He started 7th, currently up to 5th. Have to see where he settles out here as we get set. The pace car drops to the inside, getting set to go down pit road. As now you see your leader, Jonathan Goke, picks up the throttle. The hammer is down, and he is going once again. It's Goke, then Kingsbury. Then Kingsbury's thing strung out, accordion effect further back. Hopefully that doesn't affect too many drivers as your leader, Jonathan Goke, lifts slight lift through 1 and 2, getting to go once again. And we're going to see a change for lead here. Possibly Matt Kingsbury dives back to the inside. And a caution once again. That's going to be the 17 of Cody Erdman into the wall down the back straightaway.
Yeah, it looks like Robbie Lorell also getting caught up in that caution.
Wow, these guys have not had a run the entire night. And that one came further up through the field. Let's see if we can't figure out what happened, because there you see a car working its way down the back straightaway. But wow, that was seemingly out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it looks like Cody just got loose.
Yeah, that was an incredible snap loose, and there was a car to his inside, actually. That was...
Robbie Lorell.
That was Robbie Lorell. Wow. Lorell... Oh, Lorell was just a passenger along for the ride there. He was spun into. Looks like, unfortunately... No, Big Dog!
Big Dog.
Big Dog! Oh, man! No, not Big Dog. Yeah, that was just carnage on back. There was nowhere for him to go. Robbie Lorell was just collected. He was along for the ride as well. And that's unfortunate to see drivers just get picked up like that. Wow. Cody Erdman, unfortunate to see starting that one. And it looks like you see there, that green and white car down to the inside, that was Mike Berry. He's out there just logging laps because these positions that he picks up, that does translate over to his starting spot for the feature race, the second heat of the night per se, coming up here just following this one.
Yeah, and it does look like we had a couple of takers on pit road, Ray Kingsbury being one of them.
Yeah, that's something going to be interesting to see. That's going to play into strategy a whole lot. I think that some of these guys, they're just kind of hoping and praying maybe, just maybe, they can get enough cautions from here to make it to the end. But the biggest part about that is just how much you're going to need caution to come into your favor. I was hearing about 40 to 50 laps being the green flag run for these guys. They still have 60 laps to go. So if you're expecting a ton of caution, you put it in fuel map 7, you're good to go. But they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see how the strategy plays out and which guys go at what time down pit road.
Yep, so still the only change for lead, of course, came just after caution. It's still Matt Kingsbury. He just got the lead from his teammate John Goke, and then it's Adams, then Valley, and Dan Ench. Of course, we just talked about Ray Kingsbury going to drop pretty far back after taking his way down pit road. So going to have to see where he cycles out. He's going to be towards the end of the lead lap. But Kieran Forrest, it looks like he's gotten everything repaired pretty quick. Surprised to see with the amount of damage, the amount of contact that he had to his car.
Yeah, it looks like some of it might have just been cosmetic. I did see the front wheels wobbling a little bit, so it might have a little bit of hard time steering here when we go back green.
Yeah, typically when an entire wheel is sheared off, it's about 4 minutes of repairs here on iRacing, but he jumps back in line. The 42 car now in the 19th spot. He is listed as 1 lap down. But just up in front of a couple cars was the guy that started third in the race, the Ray Kingsbury machine, the number 25 for Team Spark. These guys, though, looks like a couple other takers. Oh, I'm still looking at the replay. Sorry. I was going to say more guys down pit road, but no, never mind. Ray Kingsbury going to start pretty far back in the pack. Going to have to see where he slots in. I don't know that we're going to see lap cars to the back quite so early. We actually might. Never mind.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see here if Matt learns from his mistake that he did that one restart where I think if the leader gets too far ahead, that slingshot effect from second place just will let you rocket right around the first place guy like a sitting duck.
Yeah, and it all also depends on holding the inside line. Both of the passes for lead have been into turn 3 off of the restart. But yeah, it's always just been holding that inside line. I think that these guys realize it's all give and take right now. They've got some work to do. Of course, we still have 60-ish laps here still to go. But yeah, at this point, you see them rocking the inside line. Ray Kingsbury, by the way, we're 1 to green. Ray Kingsbury works his way back down pit road again. He's going to take just a full top off on fuel and then going to jump back in line. So you see he's already playing the fuel strategy game, and a bunch of cars out behind him. I see Big Dog Forrest as well as Trevor Teal working their way out of pit road back behind him as well. So these guys already, we are only about 18 laps in. These guys are already playing the fuel strategy game.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be battling that all race, especially with these cautions here. Sometimes, I mean, I've won races like that before where you top off right before the field goes green, and I've ended up winning the race. I know for a fact Josh Mertz knows which race that is if he's watching.
I'm sure he's out there. He was just getting back on a flight from Orlando, the slacker, taking vacations. What a slacker he is, the admin of this league. The one that caused a pretty big wreck last week. He's a slacker. But anyway, back to green flag racing out here. Matt Kingsbury in the lead, and he's got a pretty big jump on Goke, and then Goke back to Adams by about 4 or 5 car lengths. And we're still single file all throughout the field.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see here if the slingshot comes into effect.
And once again, it is right to the point. Oh my goodness, we got a caution once again. Wow, that's the 125. That is the 125 of Seth Rawls that went around. He's missing his left front and his entire front wing. These guys have to realize at some point you cannot just keep it flat through turns 1 and 2 coming off a restart like that.
Yeah, and fortunately for everyone else, he didn't collect anyone else in that incident, but unfortunate for Seth Rawls.
Yeah, I think at this point, these guys have to just be frustrated both with themselves and each other. I was in a league race last season in a different league where it started out the same and everybody said, hey, let's settle down, and it just never did. Guys, way too aggressive, and there you see it. Just way too much, way too aggressive there for Seth Rawls, and lost the back end. And we hear drivers coming over the chat. These guys talking to each other, just saying, hey, it's not that hard to get off the throttle. You have to realize on cold tires, you have to lift.
Yeah, and we haven't really even gotten a chance to let the tires warm all the way up yet and get a full heat cycle in them. So if these guys could just make it through the first couple of laps, they should be fine. But it got to be frustrating for these other guys in the field for sure.
Yeah, if you want a fun fact, IndyCars at Texas, that was one of the first races back after the COVID-19 pandemic last season. It was held without fans. But the hot ticket to that event was actually on Airbnb, where there were several suites in the turn 2. They're not suites, they're like apartments.
Yeah, they're condos.
Yeah, they're condos. People were renting out their condos for that race weekend because it was such a hot ticket. And you could spend way too much money on a condo to that event on Airbnb.
What a unique experience to watch a race, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some races from unique places. I've watched them from just about every corner of Indianapolis. I've been up into the front stretch paddock suites at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I've seen stuff from I've seen practices from the Turn 2 suites. But yeah, I mean, watching an actual race from somebody else's condo on a random Saturday afternoon during a national pandemic, that'd be a crazy event to watch. It's something unique for sure.
You know, if that was my condo, I'd probably want to watch the race too. So hopefully, whoever's staying is pretty cool.
It's all about having fun and having a good time. And man, I mean, you just kind of have to hope that these guys just have fun with it, because I mean, if you're hosting race fans at your place, I mean, you got to be up for a drunken good time.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a BYOB event.
I mean,
Bring a
it's
party pack and sit back and relax.
You know what though? You talk about party packs. Everything's bigger in Texas. There's a party pack over there. Is that like 72 cans?
It's at a minimum, I'm sure. Actually, I think I've seen one with like 3,200 beers or whatever.
Oh, just a pallet. You're just gonna bring a pallet
Just a pallet of beer.
That reminds me of when I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was Fireball literally had a keg of Fireball that they would let you, like, you just buy a keg of Fireball, or Guinness has their mini kegs now. Like,
That's too much.
One is too much for me these days. But I mean, we're not even a third of this race in. We're already on our fourth caution. I hope that these guys get things settled out and figured out.
If not, it's gonna drive me to drink, I swear.
What was the words of Eminem? I'm driving drunk because she told me to drink, or she drove me to drink. Like, these guys are driving me to drink at this point. So when I run a race later tonight, that's gonna drive. Yeah, I mean, it all works itself out. Words are hard. These guys just have to go fast and turn left, and they're struggling to do that.
Yeah, although the disco lights on the front stretch are pretty cool, I'm getting tired of looking at them.
All right, we need to just tell every single driver, take it easy, let's have fun, go out there and just run your race. But we've got some work to do there in the meantime. And it's
always easier said than done, too. I mean, we saw a guy, Cody Erdman. Normally, he doesn't make mistakes like what he did earlier, but unfortunately gets caught up, and a couple of good cars getting caught up early on.
Yeah, it's just kind of think these guys. It's I talked to a bunch of them. It's the first oval race of the season. It's only the second race of the season, second race of the series. But anyway, it's only the second race in general for these guys, especially on an oval. And I know a lot of them aren't used to that, just from like seeing some of the names and talking to them. But a lot of the guys that are used to it, like, they realize what work they have to do. Man, I mean, I talked to a couple of them throughout the week. I talked to, I talked to Tom, who unfortunately, Tom did not make it. Tom Abramitis. He was in for a strong showing last week, and unfortunately got caught up in another wreck. And these guys, have to have some work to do. He's got just a bunch of these guys getting ready for some new iRacing stuff coming out, as we've seen a bunch of announcements come out. But the pace car starts to work its way down towards pit road. It pulls to the inside. Matt Kingsbury, your leader. Can he get a good enough jump this time to not give up the lead to his teammate? I expect that we will see. Oh, and we are green already. And a great jump from John Goke. He is right on the rear wing of Matt Kingsbury. He's going to go to the outside, go to the high side. And right behind is going to be Adams and Victor Valley. Your front four strung out with a big gap back to fifth. And Chance Manning are already going to see another change for lead with John Goke to the inside.
Yeah, what you saw there in turns 1 and 2 was Goke getting up on the high side, using the banking, coming down.
Yeah, and
just carrying that momentum all the way down the backstretch.
Yeah, there you see your front four. We talked about the gaps that they had between them. It's already shrunk right back down. I guess the strategy already, you're going to have to realize if you're a driver anywhere in the pack, is if you're on a restart, the second spot is the place to be. Every single restart, we've seen a change for the lead.
Yeah, now that we see some green flag laps here, finally Goke is starting to pull away ever so slightly.
We know that the front two are on the same setup. Those two are teammates, and they have some help in behind them as well. David Adams currently running in the third spot. He is running on his lonesome. He's already built to get back between himself and Victor Valley. Then Chance Manning has some work to do from the fifth spot, and he is feeling hounded by Harley Moss on one of those Spark cars.
Yeah, and a little bit farther back there, Christopher Hickman coming up alongside of Blake Reynolds here. Going to be a pass for the 7th position.
Yeah, we're going to see a pass for 4th and a pass for 6th. Or sorry, pass for 7th, yeah. So it's going to be Harley Moss up to 5th, and I think that's going to be a change for Christopher Hickman up to the 7th. And some very interesting moves there. Josh Klog, he's still in 9th, but I believe that's Blake Reynolds, a very dicey move to get him up to the 7th position.
Yeah, and back up front, it's still Goke leading. Looks like Matt hasn't been able to climb that gap back just yet.
Yeah, Ray Kingsbury already picked up about 4 spots from where he restarted. So the fresh tires and the fuel playing into his advantage. He knows how they work. He is a very skilled driver in these cars. So he's got some work to do because he's got a pretty big gap up to Christian Malarchuk in front of him.
Yeah, and back up front now. Looks like Matt can just get about a car length and a half up to Goke, but just can't seem to make the pass quite stick.
The weight jacker is huge in these cars. You have to be able to utilize that tool, especially if you're right in the draft of somebody else. That's going to have to play into effect for these guys. They're just working their way, trying to work that weight jacker, find the sweet spot as they close up on cars in front of them. And we have a yellow flag scenario out once again. And I'm trying to see where it came from. I don't see a single slow car out on track. Where did the yellow flag come from? Here's a look at the replay, trying to figure out what happened here. As you see Big Dog on the high side, trying to give up. Oh, and there was a slow car on the inside. I'm not sure who that was. That was Trevor Teal there in the 72. Both Teal in the 72 and Big Dog Forrest giving each other plenty of space.
Oh, and he caught the grass.
Yeah, he just barely cut the grass. There you see the Air Force machine just straight into the wall. The front left might be sheared off of that car as well. And I don't think that would have brought out a caution if he didn't shoot back up across the racing surface. Cars trying to get themselves sorted back out. And we're hearing from Mike Berry, the magic fuel number is going to be 50 to go based on the cautions that we're having and how this race is playing out. And we're pretty darn close to that right now.
As here we see everyone coming down pit road.
Yep, just about everybody has to work their way down here. I think if you pit from here, you're good to the end, and it's just all going to be up to drivers from there. Oh, Mike Berry, let's see if we can't get a replay of that. Mike Berry with a huge pump fake down pit road. So all of these guys, just about everybody on the lead lap down pit road. I believe the only 3 that did not pit, that was Josh Klog, Joe Branch, Travis Seymour, and Jack Belton, the only 4. But Mike Berry coming down pit road, he was just about to the yellow cone. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he swerved all the way back right. What a fantastic move from here. He thought about... Oh, there you see him there. Let's see here. This is him coming off of 3 in line. Off of 4. Here, let's take a look at this. He's trying to fake out everybody just about behind him in line. Look how late that he goes. He comes across that cone. And then just so late takes a hard right turn. I am surprised to see that move, because nobody behind you has any advantage to gain.
Yeah, and obviously he's banking on the track position card here through these pit stops, I guess.
I mean, he's already 4 laps down. The next car behind him is 12 laps down. So he's got 8 laps on the next car behind him. He's not going to gain very many positions doing that. He's going to gain 1 more spot, I believe, depending on how long the 722 of Trevor Teal takes on pit road.
Oh, I don't think pit road was open for him. I think that's why he made such an evasive maneuver.
That actually that makes sense. Yeah, the first lap by is always going to be the lead lap cars only. So he didn't realize that. He takes the second time by, works his way down pit road. It might have been a strategy call. We were mistaken. I'm just an idiot. Everybody laugh at me. Ha 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 ha. I'm dumb.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there he is in chat. As he takes his pit stop, he says, "That was no fake out. I almost just got black flagged." Yep, so you were perfectly right. You're a genius and I'm just a dummy.
Woohoo for once.
So Mike Berry, great job avoiding the penalty there. Trevor Teal is the one that caused that incident. Unfortunately, he's now 4 laps down. But man, these guys, wow, strategy gonna come into play a bunch here tonight.
Yeah, so Clog, Branch, Seymour, and Belton, looks like those are the guys going to be trying to play the track position card here.
You know, I wasn't expecting this 75 lap event to be a endurance event, but here we are, 37 laps or 37 minutes in, only 40 laps in, 34 laps in, when a normal lap under green takes 25 seconds.
Yeah, and this race is actually timed for 55 minutes. Hopefully we don't end up hitting that 55-minute mark.
I believe at this point, unless we're green to the end from here, we might end up actually hitting it. There you go. There you look at time remaining. 21 laps remaining. We're going to... 42 laps or 21 minutes. So if we're green to the end, we're good. Cautions, if they keep coming out, might play into things here because this is only set for a 55-minute race. And I'm only getting paid for an hour for this, so I might have to renegotiate my contract.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk to the person writing the checks here. Josh.
Yeah, we're getting word from our producer, Zack, as well. We got some work to do here. We gotta, let's go on strike. Let's just, set it to focus on crashes. We'll take a nap for a little bit. Maybe grab an ice cold Coca-Cola, not sponsored, and have some fun with it. Okay, we're not actually going to do that, but
no, definitely not.
20 minutes left in this race. Your race leader is now Josh Clog after not stopping under caution. We're going to have to see how he runs on field. He started 24th here in this event.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if these guys have enough tire to be able to stay up there and hang with some of the guys who went down pit road, or if they're going to be at a disadvantage here.
The lights are off on the pace car. It starts to pull down pit road. The front 4 have yet to pit. That's Clog, Branch, Seymour, Belton. That's a huge jump there from Josh Clog. Yet to he did not set a time in qualifying. Gets a huge jump out the front, and they're stacking up down the back.
And it'll be interesting to see here if that slingshot comes into play.
Yep, so it's still Josh Clog out front, the front 4 with a huge gap on back. John Goke did not get a good restart at all, as he is getting swallowed up by a swarm of cars back behind him. What a huge gaggle this is, back from the 5th spot on behind.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see the top 4 kind of pull away here.
It looks like Victor Valley, something going on for him. Yeah, he's definitely had an issue at some point. Yet to bring out a caution, but he saves it somehow, and he just said that's how you not bring out a caution. So he's had something happen. He got into contact somewhere. Wow, Victor Valley, what a fantastic move by you. Take a look at the replay here. There you see on the replay, huge checkup. Gets the run. You can pass on the outside before the start and finish line. Does not do that. It's probably going to be off of 2. That's where we've seen it every single time so far. Where does it happen? So he's still clean off of 2. And now we have a caution out on the racetrack. It's going to be the number 5 machine. That's the 5 car of Chance Manning.
Yeah, it looks like he just got loose coming off 2 again. Yeah, and the urgency in drivers chat is definitely starting to pick up. People are saying, come on, guys, we need to get some green flag laps in here before we hit this time limit.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Victor, but yeah, something happened to him on the restart because he was working hard to save that car and not bring out the caution. And it seems that might not be the case here tonight. Oh, he did get the wall out of 2 right here. Yep, you see it there. Very hard collection. Thankfully, everybody back behind. You see them all diving to the inside. Great job by him to keep it to the high side. Yeah, and he says, hey, thanks to me, I didn't bring out a caution, but unfortunately it did come out just a lap later, so. Yeah, and let's take a look here at the replay for the number 5 machine of Chance Manning. You see him there on the inside, pushing very hard, going to wash all the way up to the outside wall. Does not collect it there. This is back down the front. Okay, this is next lap. Trying to run in. He's got the clean air. Oh, he got the front air. You get the clean air taken off his nose. Okay. Yep. So when you get the front air chopped off your nose like that, it's going to upset the car. And that's just going to, that's unfortunate. So maybe, yeah, so that's unfortunate to see. I mean, we still got a bunch of racing left here in this race. And wow, I was not expecting to see this many cautions in such a race like this. Man, so it's still Josh Clogg out front. We're going to take a short break here, kind of catch our breath and see if we can't figure out what's going on with these drivers. But we'll be back here in just a matter of moments here on Nitro Circus and have some more fun with the rest of the way here from Texas.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Back to the 2 in Texas. I am Chad, aka CubeCast. Here with me is Dylan Livengood here as always. And wow, what a fantastic race we have had so far. And I say fantastic, I mean it's been a Nitro Circus extravaganza, because we have been running under caution for 25. We're working lap 26 under caution. Lap 43 on the track, so got a whole bunch of racing left to go. Of course, though, this is race 1 of 2. They have some racing left to go if this race doesn't come to fruition. It looks like at this point, with 33 laps to go, you're running just over 2 laps a minute. We're going to have to see. Yeah, there's no way. It's a timed race to the end from here. There's no way they're going to make it, even if it goes green. So some of these guys that haven't yet pitted, that's going to be Josh Clogg has not pitted yet. Then it's going to be Branch, Seymour, and Belton that have taken a while to pit. Everybody else, though, pitted 11 laps ago. So they've got some work to do, though. The pace car is off as we get set to go racing once again here. So Clogg gets a good jump, and we're single file from Clogg, Branch, Seymour, Belton, and Goke, and then even further on back as well. Gonna have to wait and see how this plays out for everyone else back behind, because these guys still single file working their way through this restart. Peeking to the outside is Joe Branch.
Yeah, and I think these top 4 right now are actually the ones playing it smart here and with the track position with as many cautions as we've had.
Yeah, just a matter of time before we see this whole.
Oh, and Goke down to the apron.
Yeah, it's not where you want to be. He loses just a little bit. Fantastic save by him, and everybody's starting to pile up back behind him. Wow, what a fantastic save by Goke. Oh, and that whole checkup does cause an incident. Wow. He caught the apron. He caught the apron, then saved, but unfortunately him coming back up on the track did bring out that caution once again. Wow, man.
Yeah, and that's a really quick car that just got taken out there. Ray Kingsbury with the avoidance of a lifetime there.
Let's take a look here at the replay once again. Here's Goke. I mean, you see him there. That scheme looks beautiful, but unfortunately doesn't drive quite as good as it looks. He's gonna, we're gonna be a lap early here, it looks like, because the next time by, he's going to clip the apron. Here's a look at him going back down into 1-2. You'll see where he wants to run, just above that white line, and he keeps his foot in it all the way through. Gets a huge run here down the back. Now, out of nowhere, going to peek to the inside. There was not a bunch of room. They're forced to the apron because there was not room to the inside of that car there. And then he just comes back up onto the track in front of 3, and then he split 3 wide and unfortunately collects 2 other cars in that one, I believe one of them. Oh, what a fantastic bit of driving there. Was that Ray Kingsbury possibly sneaking through there?
That was Ray. You couldn't even swipe a credit card between him and Goke.
That was a fantastic bit of driving. There was Ray and one other Spark car just splitting the middle. Fantastic. Wow. I mean, there was no room for any cars through the middle there, and somehow he made it work. I mean, I can only say wow so many times, but the way that he got through that wreck, that was incredible. I'm going to have to send that to iRacing Top 10 because that was fantastic. Here's look at the onboard replay. Woo! Nowhere for him to go. There was absolutely nowhere. How he made it through there.
Yeah, and that takes 100% commitment right there. You either got to slow down or just, drive it like you stole it through there.
And by the way, if you can listen closely now, that's Ray Kingsbury fuel dumping under caution. I mean, that's how much this guy's dedicated to it. He is just dumping fuel right now.
Yeah, and these guys have it down to such a science when it comes to how they set these cars up that during the race, you got to do what you got to do to be able to keep that strategy alive.
Ray, real quick, how'd you make it through that wreck?
I don't know. I didn't see anything. I closed my eyes because I was honestly scared. No, in all seriousness, going into that, I'm like, okay, this is bad. I'm already 3 wide. I can't brake because that's just going to cause problems. So I didn't really have many options going into that, and I just kind of went to the middle of the track and just hoped they bounced the other directions.
Wait, that was a fantastic bit of driving, and we hear you dumping fuel. Best of luck the rest of the way. We'll see you in the second race.
Yeah, it seemed like I could do to lighten it up. It looks like we're going to be time limited on this one.
That's right, Kingsbury. The driver currently running in the 9th position right now. Fantastic bit of drive for him to get through that one.
Yeah, again, I don't know how he made it through there. Like I said, that takes commitment and skill.
I mean, I don't know how they do it. That was incredible to watch. Nerve-wracking to be a part of, I guess. And I'm still confused as to how anything just happened. And Victor, something just happened to him as well. It looks like he left his pit stall and might have had to take a tow back. It could have possibly been... So he's back rolling once again.
He might have just stalled the car out.
Yeah, so he's back rolling once again. He got clear of pit road. I'm not sure what exactly happened to him. So it could have been a suspension. There is a suspension issue within iRacing where if you take all your repairs and then take a tow, it doesn't fix everything. Yeah, because he had to take a tow. But we've got 6.5 minutes. We're here, and I'm not sure what happened with him. Yeah, but guys are talking about, hey, 6.5 minutes left in this race. It's going to be less than that when we go green. Let's just put the cherry on top of it and hope that we go green to the end here. We've got some work to do.
Yeah, and hopefully things are a little bit more calm in the second race. Typically, when you run double headers like this, second race, if the first race is anything like it is today, is typically cleaner, but time will tell on that.
So Josh Klog still leading the race, and you know what? He has not pitted yet. Josh Klog from 24th to 1st yet to pit, and just about everybody behind him has. So if he gets another caution, he might be good to the end. Is this the strategy move of the season already?
Could be.
Wow. The pace car pulls off. Josh Klog gets ready to lead the field back, and he's going to get a huge jump over Joe Branch and Travis Seymour. Then it's Kingsbury, Belton, and Hickman. Going to have to wait and see how things play out back behind. Still single file all throughout the field. A huge run here for Branch, but defending the inside is Klog. Klog just praying for yet another caution. Gonna have to see how things play out for these guys. Josh Klog, by the way, 1.5 minutes is about the caution lap time, as these guys fighting very hard back behind for multiple positions. Klog lifting just a bit through 1 and 2, just hoping these guys get into a battle back behind. Can he hold on to that top spot and not have to pit the entire way?
Yeah, Branch has a run on the outside here.
And a car into the wall back. Oh, car upside down out of turn 4. And that's a caution. That might just be the race. Josh Klog might have just won this race on strategy, as we've got multiple cars upside down through the infield. What just happened? Looks like one of them's gonna be the 5 of Chance Manning again.
It looks like Jack Belton got on the apron.
Yeah, Jack Belton, wow.
Yeah, and it looks like when he tried to correct, he overcorrected and ended up coming in across into traffic.
Yeah, so he corrected, saved it down to the apron, and then just saved it, I guess, too much and collected 2 other cars in the process.
So it looks like either one of 2 things is going to happen here. Either A, it's going to be official, or B, could they potentially get a green-white checkered?
So we're at 3 minutes left, and I believe I think there's I'm not entirely sure, because I'm not sure how caution. We're at 31 laps under 8 caution, so we're running about 4 laps per caution. So I think that these guys, though, for the most part, they are going to see this race finish under caution.
Yeah, that's going to be really unfortunate for a night that we had a lot of hype for. Ended up finishing it on time. That's going to be a bummer.
Now I have to ask you, Dylan, are you glad you joined me up here in the booth tonight?
Oh, without a doubt. I would hate to be down there on the track right now. I'd be just pulling my hair out. I'd either be pulling my hair out or be wrecked already.
I mean, with the amount of wrecks that have happened in the way, the amount of wrecks that have happened and the way that they have happened, it's been just incredible to watch. I mean, these guys, I don't know what's going through some of their heads, but wow. We're hearing we might possibly get a 1-lap dash. Gonna have to see if that plays out at all. I don't think we will. I think that we're gonna end up here finishing under caution. If lights don't come out this time. Yeah, I think that's just about gonna wrap up race number 2 here.
Yep,
Race
disco lights stay
number 1,
on.
yeah. Yep, race, and it's a minute and a half under caution. That's gonna have to be it here. It's unfortunate. Unless something wonky happens, we have a 50-yard sprint to the green. Or to
You
the
know,
checkered.
some stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I've had it happen here in iRacing. That's the unfortunate part about the rule set. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. You know what would have to happen here. But yeah, Josh Clogg in the 199 out front, looking to win the first oval race here in the championship series, presented by RK Designs. So, wow, incredible.
Yeah, definitely a surprise winner there for sure. Matt Kingsbury ended up making it back up to 3rd place, it looks like, after his dominating run in the first half of the race.
Yeah, a couple other things that are notable. I mean, Josh Clogg, of course, 24th the first, Joe Branch 14th the second, Christopher Hickman 23rd the 5th. Yeah, Matt Kingsbury somehow goes first to only 3rd after so many other guys made up a ton of spots. Ray Kingsbury started 3rd, ended up 7th. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it
wow.
really all came down to that pit strategy there around lap 30 or so.
I believe, is that going to be the white flag or the checkered flag that they just took? So that was the white flag that they took under caution. So this is going to have to be the final lap here. Yeah, and the lights are... We're going to have a dash, a 50-yard dash from the restart line to the checkered flag. I believe that might end up being reviewed by the stewards to go back. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, on count back, because I feel like that's a bunch of shenanigans to me, but that's just me. So unofficially, I believe Josh Clogg is going to be the one that ends up winning this race. Yeah, so it sounds like officially we are not going to go green here. We're not going to have a 50-yard dash to the checkered. So that's going to end the race here. Yeah. Yeah, so we're not going to go green here. The checkered flag does come out under pacing. And Josh Clogg, your first oval winner of the season. So that about wraps up that first race. And let's hope the second one goes just a little bit better. I pray to all you drivers out there, please improve things for the second race, because that was painful to watch. And there you see your unofficial results. Josh Clogg taking the win, followed by Joe Branch, then Matt Kingsbury and Travis Seymour. And then it's going to be Christopher Hickman going 23rd to 5th. And then Blake Reynolds and Ray Kingsbury. Then David Adams in the 8th spot. Then Dan Ench finishing 9th and wrapping up the top 10. Kieran Big Dog Forrest. Big Dog gets the top 10. Trevor Teal says that was fun. Let's do it again. So, gonna have to see if we can't get some interviews in here because we got some work to do. We're gonna start here with maybe not. We're gonna looks like possibly switch advance straight to the next session. Okay, so that 1 minute warm up that we had set aside was for nothing. We're jumping straight ahead into the action. Wow. Let's hope that this one goes better than the first. So, anyway, Josh Clogg, somehow, out of nowhere, going to start on the pole, followed by Joe Branch on row number 2, then Kingsbury and Seymour, and then Hickman Reynolds, then Ray Kingsbury and Adams, and Dan Ench, Kieran Forrest wrapping up the top 10. Then it's going to be Harley Moss and Victor Valley, Jack Belton, Michael Berry, Seth Rawls, Chance Manning, Trevor Teal and Christian Malarchek, and then Brian Sohn and John Goke. 21st, Wesley Blanton and Cody Erdman, Rivalry Real, Victor Aldrich, and David Schofield. Wrapping up your field, all those guys finish multiple laps down. And the first event out of 2 as the pace car gets set to go here for race number 2 from the 2 in Texas. Now that car has not made a pit stop yet tonight. Somehow on strategy, holding on for dear life was Josh Clogg. Fantastic bit of racing there from the 199. Captain Picard saying, yeah, let's go Aldrich. Hell yeah. 98, Victor Aldrich for Team Wattspin Racing. Starting all the way at the back. Got some work to do here in the second race. Got to avoid those cautions. He unfortunately plowed into one early on in the first race of the night. 240 Drift says hello. Hello there, 240 Supercross Drift. Welcome to the party. So all set here for race number 2. Looks like Robbie LaReal is not going to join us tonight for the second race. Robbie, yeah, looks like Robbie LaReal disconnected during race number 1, is not going to connect for race number 2. Seth Rawls might be starting from the back of the field as well. But here's the the second double file restart. It's going to be the first one of this event. It's going to be the only one of race number 2. Single file from here to the end as Josh Clogg gets a fantastic jump here. And Matt Kingsbury tries to dive to the inside here. Can we keep things clean for race number 2 here at the start? Josh Clogg, then Matt Kingsbury. Some diving and weaving all through the back and diving to the inside. Once again, is that Matt Kingsbury to the lead? He is. Matt Kingsbury to the point. Kingsbury leads us out of turn number 4 through the tri-oval. Huge gap back from about 10th spot back. And it's going to be fighting back on the outside. Trouble further on back. Is this going to bring out a caution? It's the 03. That's the 03 of Brian Sohn as he is just weaving through the infield. That's going to bring out the caution. We got another caution back on the back stretch. It's going to bring things out. That's the 44. Multiple cars involved there. Oh, they're all piling in there. Multiple cars involved. And that's John Goke. Goke was involved in that one as well.
Oh, no.
Goke was running so well tonight, trying to figure out what happened here. Because that was all over, the action was all over that track. We had cars on the grass on the infield. The leader was into turn number 2, and we had cars wrecking down the back. So Goke looking like he's going to try to reclaim his positions. San. Okay, this is a replay of San seeing what happened to him as well. Maybe just trying to push too hard. Keeps going, yeah, you see a slight wiggle there. Clipped the apron with his inside tires. Wow. But that's not what brought out the caution. What brought out the caution was on the backstretch, and there you see it. That's one of the that's Hickman. Wait, what happened to him? Yes, he just got out of 2 into the wall, collected somebody else down the back, and multiple cars. Looks like Michael Berry's involved. One of the Spark cars is involved. Goke is involved. Yeah, a couple sequential Sim Sport cars are involved in that one as well. Wow, yeah, so there you see him collecting the wall, collecting another car. And of course, one goes high, one goes low. Some nut code there collecting another car. And was Michael Berry collected? I don't think Mike Berry had any contact, actually. So a good bit of luck for him. And there you see that purple and white car. That's Dan Ench in the Spark car back behind as well. Yep, let's go on board here with Mike Berry. You see that big gap to the pack in front of them. You see the smoke. He lets off. Maybe he locks up maybe some contact slightly with the outside wall. But no, I don't think anybody collected him. He might be clean. Fantastic lock up there by Mike Berry. Wow. Action all over the track. Yeah, he just locked up the fronts, the back end stepped out. Picard confirms that as well. Yeah, so just locked up the fronts, the back end stepped to the inside. Whew. I'm getting nervous up here.
Yeah, definitely glad that I'm not down there running this race for sure. These drivers have their hands full.
Yeah, so not the best of starts. Race number 2 lining up where we finished race number 1. Just caution after caution. Not the way that we expected this race to go.
No, not at all. I was thinking these guys would take off 75 laps like it was nothing, but unfortunately that's not the case.
Yeah, so it's still now Matt Kingsbury's gone from 3rd to 1st. Your pole sitter, of course, your winner of race number 1, Josh Clogg, he dropped back to 2nd, and then it's Joe Branch back in 3rd. I think that most of these guys are hoping that race number 2 goes cleaner than race number 1 did. But right now it's Kingsbury, Clogg, Branch, Reynolds, and Kingsbury's already made up 2 spots. That's Ray from 7th up to 5th. And there you see the pace car is off. The green flag back out once again. Matt Kingsbury with a huge jump over Josh Clogg. And Kingsbury trying to do everything he can just to build his lead. Hopefully these guys remember cold tires because they have some work to do. They did a better job on the first restart of the race than they did the previous couple of times. So they're still so far clean back behind. We're going to have to see how things play out. They're fading out further back through the field as Matt Kingsbury leads them back into turn number 3.
Yeah, these guys just trying everything that they can to log laps right now.
Josh Clogg tried to send a move to the outside. He had to back off into turn number 1. A huge checkup for him, but he keeps it clean going down the backstretch. Got a huge run once again as well, but Matt Kingsbury defending the front as hard as he possibly can.
Yeah, and Clogg trying to do everything that he can to get clean air behind him.
And you see him peeking his nose out every opportunity he gets the clean air on his nose. He might lose a spot here. No, Joe Branch not close enough yet, but he's going to get a huge run here down the back straight. Is Josh Clogg going to just keep things back in line? And caution once again. Not sure who brought that up. Possibly the 144. That's the 144 of Travis Seymour, who slowed down turn number 3. He's back down on the apron. Yeah, his front left is clearly knocked off. Got into contact with someone or something there.
Yeah, it looks like Chance Manning ended up getting to the back of him right here.
So multiple cars involved there as well. These guys, we've seen them race before. These are such talented drivers. I guess the oval is a new curveball for them. Because this is just definitely something new. Yeah, it looks like Chance Manning, unfortunately, just nowhere for him to go. As drivers start to get a little frustrated over the radio with it, because I completely agree with them. This is not how you want to see a race be run. Just a struggle for everybody involved. So currently working lap number 10 here of race number 2. And it's Matt Kingsbury out in front. And here you see the 5, the 98, and a bunch of cars back behind, working their way down under caution. I mean, just they've got some work to do here. Let's see real quick. Mike, real quick. How did you avoid incident under that first caution?
Chad, you're gonna have to repeat that first question. Yeah. What'd you say?
How did you avoid wrecking under that first caution? You just absolutely locked them up.
Yeah, I didn't avoid wrecking. I almost tore my front wing off there. I just kind of was like praying, okay, hey, brake pedal. Let's use that. Use it a bit too hard because iRacing's default setups for this car have like 45% brake bias, and I only had it at like 50. So walk the fronts up, hit the wall. Somehow didn't get any worse, and we're feeling pretty good now.
And so far, I mean, it's been a caution fest. What's your thoughts here to the end? Are you going to try to pull a fuel strategy like Josh did in the first race?
I don't know. I'm gonna see again. I said the magic number was 50. Was about 50 to go. I'm gonna see how well that's gonna hold up. Yeah, it's just about how. I don't know, if guys start pitting with 50 to go, or if let's say we get a caution on lap 20, then I'll probably chance it. But it's just all about how the cautions play out, and with how many we're getting, yeah, it's gonna be a really deciding factor.
Well, hey, best of luck the rest of it. We'll have to see how things play out.
Thanks, Chad.
That's Mike Barry joining us here in the booth. He avoided a wreck earlier in the race, and somehow he said he didn't keep things clean, but it didn't seem like there was much damage to that race car. So it's Matt Kingsbury back on top, then Josh Clogg and Joe Branch in third. Ray Kingsbury up to 4th already. Got some work to do as these guys continue just to log laps throughout this event. And there's a look at your leader, Matt Kingsbury, working his way down the back straightaway. I mean, the way that this event is played out, if he just stays out the entire race, we're going to have to see if he can't just maintain that lead. The second guy in line has had the jump on the restart every single time so far. It's just a matter of time to see how things play out here. So far, it's Kingsbury leading most of the way so far, as we still have plenty of racing left here, working lap number 12 of 75. Hopefully time doesn't come into play once again. Just just kind of a wait and see game at this point, because some guys, you already see them dropping all the way down to the apron, trying to save as much fuel as they possibly can. That's the one advantage that some of these guys have, is they can save fuel and they know how to do it. Matt Kingsbury, a very skilled driver, probably running fuel map number 15 at this point, trying to save as much fuel as he can. These guys, of course, only have 8 fuel maps, but if you can run, as low of fuel for the longest time possible, I mean, it's only a matter of time for some of them. But hey, lights are out on the iRacing pace car as they work their way through turn number 3 and working their way towards turn number 4. This is also timed, so it's either 75 laps or 55 minutes. We didn't expect to see the time limit with 24 seconds a lap, but unfortunately under caution it did with so much of race number 1. Here we go for race number 2. Here comes the leaders as Matt Kingsbury takes the green, and we are green once again here in Texas. So huge jump for him, and his car is starting to stack up back behind. Josh Clogg doing everything he can to hold on to that second spot under huge pressure from Joe Branch. Then it's Ray Kingsbury right behind him as well. Ray Kingsbury sneaks to the outside, thinks about peeking back to the inside, and these guys slicing and dicing all throughout the mid-pack. And there you see these guys weaving all throughout, and it's going to be Kingsbury peeking to the inside of Branch. Can Kingsbury get it done? As Branch to the outside of Clogg. Can't keep his money, can he? He keeps to the high side there. And Ray Kingsbury right now, that yellow and black car, third in line on the inside. He's going to get that spot. Matt Kingsbury holding on to the lead as now it's Ray Kingsbury peeking to the outside of the second place car of Josh Clogg. Can he do anything here? They're going to think about going 3 wide with Blake Reynolds. Blake Reynolds in that orange and blue car to the high side. He's going to work his way up 1 spot at a time as well. But right now, it's Matt Kingsbury leading Ray Kingsbury. And then I believe that's going to be Blake Reynolds getting ready to inherit the 3rd spot here at the line. Will he? Yes, he will. It's Matt, then Ray, then Blake Reynolds. And they're still fighting on back through the top 5 for Joe Branch and Josh Clogg battling for that 4th and 5th position. And some of these guys right now just hoping for a caution. I think Ray knows his brother's tactics on the restarts. These guys know each other here in the Indy cars from the Road to Indy Elite Series, from their races that they run last night, where I believe it was both Ray and his teammates. Your first race winner, Trevor Greenfield, they got collected in incidents early on in that event. So right now, Ray looks like he's got a bunch of race pace looking to the outside of his brother. He sends it to the outside in turn number 1. They're side by side. Still there coming off the corner. He's going to be able to keep his foot in it just a little bit more. He had all the momentum there down the back straightaway. Is he going to lift here and give his brother the position? He's clear now. Can he tuck into line? He can. So still, Ray Kingsbury, Matt's going to protect the inside for his dear life. There's no way he's going to give up that bottom in any circumstance. Going to have to wait and see how that plays out. As further on back, most guys like Joe Branch now dropped from 2nd to 4th. Blake Reynolds holding on. He's well clear. As these guys still up for the lead. And they're fighting so hard. Is that Ray Kingsbury now to the point? Kingsbury is to the point, and now he's under pressure from Blake Reynolds. No, Blake has to back off. Almost in contact there. It's Blake Reynolds now. Holding on. He's going to go to the outside of Kingsbury once again. That's Matt and Reynolds. Matt Kingsbury and Blake Reynolds. And it's still going to be Matt Kingsbury. Chops the nose all over the... Chops off the nose multiple times on Blake Reynolds. Can he get anything done here? As there you see Ray Kingsbury on the inside just trying to stave it off for his dear life. I hate to jinx it now, knock on wood, but this is the longest green flag run. We've had some spectacular racing so far out of it. Oh, 3 wide possibly for the lead. We are almost 3 wide. Is that Kingsbury into the wall? That was so close. And the drivers very disappointed with one another over the radio, is now down pit road very slow. That's the 722 of Trevor Teal. He might have clipped the outside wall, so some disagreement amongst drivers, but they're all the front four right back together. That's Ray Kingsbury, then Blake Reynolds, then Matt Kingsbury, and Joe Branch, your top four. We hate to focus on your top four so much. Let's take a look a little further back. A couple seconds back is Cody Erdman leading a battle between himself, John Gope, Malarchek, and Victor Valia is a little bit further back there as well. But these three cars put on a spectacular show between them as well. As there we see is that this is Jack Belton. Jack Belton, driver we talked so much about in the sports cars, very talented driver over on that side. One of his first and few oval races for the driver there in the 10 machine. He's got some work to do as he currently runs in the 10th position. Or sorry, the 13th position. He's got some work to do to work his way up. They've got a huge gap out the front as well. So this is a very different and very broken up race compared to what we saw in race number one, where it was caution, caution, caution. Now we see multiple packs of drivers or leaders just now into three. Meanwhile, these guys have some work to do to get their way up there. There you see your leader, Ray Kingsbury, just pinning the in as he holds the inside against Blake Reynolds. Blake, of course, very skilled, very talented driver. And then to the inside is Joe Branch, their third in line. Matt Kingsbury has gone from first to fourth in just a matter of laps, as we now have 50 laps to go. We might end up seeing some green flag pit stops depending on how this race plays out. Some of these guys might just settle for sitting in line, trying to save fuel from here to the end. Looking out the back of Ray Kingsbury, he gets a huge run off of turn number 2. Blake Reynolds now going to try to make the charge off of 4. He gets a huge run here in the slipstream, trying to use all of that to his advantage. Can he do anything with it? I pretty much doubt it. He knows right away that Ray's going to protect the inside. And Ray just sits there and just holds his line the entire way around. Ray, of course, a very talented driver, finished on the podium last week, gonna look to do the same here tonight. 48 laps, 36 minutes to go. This race continues just ticking down lap after lap. No Hanford device here tonight. These guys just know how to keep things done. Move too wide for the lead outside. Blake Reynolds not able to do it clear on the outside, as that's McLaren Shadow Racing of Blake Reynolds trying to make the move. So still Kingsbury in the lead, then Reynolds, Branch, Matt Kingsbury, then Cody Erdman. All those guys within a second of your leader, Ray Kingsbury. Then John Goke leads the second train back behind. But for the most part, these guys all single file throughout your top 7. More interesting battles not really forming up further on back, but multiple packs kind of, as Brian Son leads a second train from 15th position. He leads about 5 cars here, all within a second of each other. We've got side by side the first 2 rows of cars. These guys still battling out. That's Reynolds and Kingsbury. We talked about these guys enough, and what has happened to Matt Kingsbury? He's lost a ton of time and a ton of ground. Now 1.3 seconds back, as he content just sitting in his teammates' draft and trying to save fuel. That might be the case, because these front 4 have now pulled away from both Goke and Kingsbury. And there you see him weaving both down the front and now going to be the back straightaway. Just trying to tuck into line, trying to protect their position and not give anything to anybody else at all. But there you see, once again, Reynolds peeking to the outside. He is alongside on corner entry. But that shorter corner radius that Kingsbury gets every single time is going to hold him up. It's going to be fun to watch if these guys can keep this battle going the next 42 laps, and if we can keep things clean. So right now, it's Ray Kingsbury still leading Blake Reynolds. And then Cody Erdman, Joe Branch, then John Goke, and now Matt Kingsbury. We talked about him going from first all the way back to sixth. And we've got trouble here. This is Mike Berry. We saw him avoiding a caution earlier. He got into the wall, but now keeps it down on the apron. Hopefully he can keep it down there and not bring out a second incident. This is where things get tricky for him. Got to get down to pit road speed. He takes out the cone. That is cone abuse. That's a 5 million point penalty if you ask me. But he starts slowly working his way down, and see how hard that car is crabbing down the pit straight. I think his day might be done with how hard he caught the wall. So he finds his way into his pit stall. These guys still battling very hard out front. It's still Kingsbury on the inside. And wow, he's doing everything he can not to get into a collision there with Blake Reynolds. These guys very close. That's just going to open the door for Goke and Matt Kingsbury to jump right back into the fray here. Something might be wrong, though, with Matt Kingsbury. He's gone from first back to sixth, and he's lost a full second on fifth place, Jonathan Goke. So what is going on with Matt? Just a matter of time. We'll have to try to figure out what happened there, because you see the gap that's developed. I think he did mention something about maybe some contact when it was himself, Reynolds, and Ray Kingsbury 3 wide, and there was just nowhere for him to go. I think he might have collected the wall. As we now take cross flags, we are halfway through this race, working now lap 39 out of 75. Plenty of racing left here to go. Still Ray Kingsbury out front, followed by Reynolds. Reynolds, I'm seeing him showing up. He's got his championship driver license on, so he's definitely got his 7K I rating working for him as we now ride on board with him. He's going to peek to the inside. Does he have anything for Ray Kingsbury? Kingsbury just lets him go. Got some battling left to do there for Shadow McLaren driver. Starting to see some pit stops here. These are scheduled pit stops. They do have plenty of racing left here. That's the number 5 of Chance Manning. Could have possibly, he was already 1 lap down, so might have been something unscheduled for him. But green flag runs are only about, I think, 40 laps in these cars. 40 to 45 laps. So we're going to have to see how this plays out for him. Now back to the outside, Ray Kingsbury. He's got clean air on his nose. Can he keep the momentum up, though? Here we see him sticking it to the outside. Going to try maybe the crossover move down the back. He was to the high side. Very defensive line from Blake Reynolds, and Ray Kingsbury says, okay, I see that. I'll go to the high side. Sliding up a full lane is Blake Reynolds. Reynolds now doing everything he can still to defend that line. Now back, Ray Kingsbury to the inside. Somehow the door opened up. Thank you very much. And back to the point he goes, just waiting, taking his time and getting the move done. It's Ray Kingsbury back to the point, but they're still side by side out front. So it's now Kingsbury once again to the point, and then Reynolds, Branch, Irvine, Goke, Kingsbury, then Josh Klug, Christian Malarchek, and then Moss and Victor Valley wrapping up the top 10, and that battle back for 9th, 10th, 11th, pretty tight, as well as Victor Valley now gets by Harley Moss. Now Moss back by Valley, so those 3 fighting very hard on back. But wow, some fantastic moves. Is that possibly into the wall for Blake Reynolds? I'm not entirely sure, but he got very high there entering turn number 1. Now we're on board with Cody Erdman, and he's shown a ton of pace. He loves this car. He loves this track. Can Cody Erdman hold on to the top spot? Or sorry, the top spot to the 3rd spot in line. He's looking for that top spot. Now here's Harley Moss. Now you see him pitting. This is a scheduled pit stop for him. Now he's on the lead lap. I think it looks like it was very close, but he was down pit road in time. So he is away without penalty here. as Ray Kingsbury continues to hold that inside out front. Now it looks like that's the 722 of Trevor Teal working his way out of pit road. So it looks like some of these guys that did work their way down pit road now working their way off. The 27 now is working his way. That's David Schofield's down pit road. So these are still more scheduled stops. And Blake Reynolds, oh my goodness, almost getting into the back of Ray Kingsbury once again. Hearing from Denich, car in the wall, not entirely sure where, but they're still side by side for the lead. And the caution is out, and that's going to be a heartbreaker for one of the guys that did just pit. It looks like Matt Kingsbury was on pit road. And yeah, that's the 10 car of Jack Belton that brought out that caution. Wow. Some fantastic battling there. Ray and Blake congratulating each other over the radio. Here's a look at Jack Belton once again. I believe the incident was off of, I believe, turn 4 for him. Okay, there you see it. He collects the wall off of 4, off of 2. Tries to just limp his way around. And he gets it down maybe onto the apron with too much speed. Yeah, something else must have happened because I saw him stopped on the apron on my... Yeah, so he just brought it to a stop. Something else must have happened to bring out that pit cycle, or to bring out that caution, because, wow. And that's going to trap a lot of guys one lap down, though. And here you see the race down pit road. Let's take a look at Ray Kingsbury. He was the first one into his pit stall. He's going to take 4 tires. He's going to take fuel. And there you see he's right in front of that blue and orange car. That is Blake Reynolds. He was second coming in. And he's going to be second coming out as well. So I don't think there's going to be any changes out front between Kingsbury, Reynolds, Erdman, and Branch, your top 4. These guys, though, wow. Not sure what brought out that caution yet, but I mean the way that he stopped that 10 car of Jack Belton, it might have been what triggered it, because he just came to a complete stop down. It was off the racing surface. It was definitely okay. So it was before that. It sounds like. Gecko, what's up to you, my legend? Joining us in the chat. Thanks for stopping by here to the 2 in Texas, presented by Penguin RC here in the Arcade Designs Championship Series. Still not sure what brought out this most recent caution, but we are working lap 50, so 2/3 of the distance here with 25 laps to go. And there you see some of your lap cars working their way down pit road. It's great hearing over the radio some of the conversations that these drivers have. Most notably, of course, Ray Kingsbury and Blake Reynolds congratulating each other, talking to each other, saying, hey, that was great fun and clean racing back behind him. As well, though, was Victor Valley talking to, I think it might have been Jack Belton and somebody else, but just talking to the 3 of those guys that were running further back. Just kind of talking about how fun it was for them. They're not racing for the lead, but they're still battling hard for position out there. So, sounds like Matt Kingsbury, he decided to stay out when that caution, or so he was down pit road. He decided to not take his pit stop. So he just drove through the pit lane and kept on going. Davies Doobie says they have nothing for Blake Reynolds. I think that we have a couple of guys that have something here for Blake Reynolds, because Kingsbury, Erdman, and Branch have all been there right with him the entire time. Looks like actually Erdman had to come back down a second time. He had something happen on pit road. He's all the way back down, went from 4th to 10th. So he actually missed his pit entry the first lap by. So Erdman stayed out, had to come back down the second time around, lost a ton of position. So it's now Kingsbury, Reynolds, and Branch, the top three that were running very close together. Just toying with them, it's going to be hard to say because the way that they were talking about over the radio, it was some fierce competition between them. And it looks like the lights are out here as they work their way off of turn number 2 on the iRacing pace car. It's about half a lap until we go green. 24 laps to go. And a fantastic battle these guys have had throughout the race. Yep, Gecko giving a shout out to Big Dog Kieran, Big Dog Forest. Up into the 7th position. Has some work to do. Look, the rest of Big Dog in 19th. Did something happen to Big Dog? Do you have to come down once again? No, he's still showing up in 7th, so he's still showing up in the 7th spot. And then Gecko. Yep, Victor's up there too. Victor Valley, of course, our former producer here in these series. Great to see him up there. But we are green once again. Ray Kings with a huge jump. He's going to have to protect the inside, though, both here in turns 1 and 2. But most importantly, into turn number 3. We've seen that be the key place to defend on restarts. Can he continue to do that here? As he's got a 5-car length advantage over Blake Reynolds. And caution is out once again. It's the 722 of Trevor Teal. He was already 14 laps down. It looks like his car was not quite finished being reset. So he was not quite ready to go. Trevor, unfortunate for him, worked his way back down pit road as it looks like his night might just be done. Oh, and it looks like he got collected by somebody else. Not sure who that was that collected him in that one. Here's a look at the replay once again. Yeah, just lost it on his own, Trevor did. And unfortunately, another driver had to pile into him on it. So gonna have to see who that was. Let me just get some confirmation real quick. That was the 144 of Travis Seymour. Oh, unfortunate for Travis. I don't think he has any suspension damage. Oh, he does. His front left was sheared off. At first, it just showed his front wing. But yeah, his front left is sheared off as well. That's going to be about 4 minutes of repairs for him. And you really have to feel for some of these guys. Travis was on the lead lap, and Trevor is 15 laps down. He should have gone to the back of the field, I think. Just kind of under a gentleman's agreement here. You shouldn't be racing against cars well above your lap. But unfortunate to see as they now work lap number, gonna be lap number 55 for your leaders. So 20 laps to go out front for Ray Kingsbury as he follows behind the iRacing safety car. So now with 20 laps to go, it's Ray Kingsbury and Blake Reynolds, then Joe Branch, Josh Klog, and Christian Malcherek in the top 5. Then Victor Valley, Brian Son, Kieran Forrest dropped, lost 1 position on the restart back to 8th. Cody Erdman in 9th, and then it's going to be Dan Ench up 10th. Cody Erdman up from 22nd to 9th. Big, big, big move. So it looks like we've got plenty of time left here to go. I don't know that it just as long as sounds like these guys. All right, so Ray Kingsbury already looks like he overfueled it. He is the strategy master in these cars. I've watched this guy run dozens and dozens of races. He's dumping fuel. Look at him on the rev limiter, 6th gear on the limiter, and probably in fuel map number 74 at this point, because he is doing everything he can just to get fuel out of that car. So, lights still on the iRacing pace car. Let's see real quick if we can't get him in here. It's not worth it. I can't drag him all the way down and back up. So we're gonna let him do his business. Actually, see if we can't get Blake Reynolds real quick. Blake, it's Cube up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, we got 20 laps to go here. It's an interesting race so far. You got anything for Ray?
I think so. I did not expect this car to come to life. Like, maybe it's the clean air, but that last race, I was nowhere compared to these LLM and those lime green cars. I don't know their team name. My apologies to them, but it's just been crazy racing, especially up here. You know, you had Cody with that high side rolling, and Race just had a really nice car out front. And then I feel like I've just been getting these massive runs on them, and I don't know what's come alive in my car, like I said, but it's crazy out here.
Yeah, I mean, where do you expect to get the move done? Is it going to be on the restart? We've seen it multiple times on the inside of turn 3.
Yeah, I gotta have enough of a gap to get a nice draft on him into 3 so that I can get around him off of 4. I couldn't get enough off of 2, and then get close enough to him in 3 to be able to. I don't know if there is side draft in these things. You know, I'm used to stock cars where I have that ability, that mechanic in it, but I'll have to time that move into 3 right, and then just get the run off of 4 and maybe hopefully beat him to the line.
Well, it looks like the lights on the pace car are out, so we'll wish you the best of luck the rest of the way, and we'll hopefully talk to you after the race.
All right, thank you.
That's Blake Reynolds, currently running P2 here in this race. They're in the 166 McLaren Shadow Machine. Ray Kingsbury, though, still out front. Got some work to do as he's got a hound of cars. Thousands and thousands of horsepower back behind him, trying to get by him for the race win. But we've got 19 laps to go. It's going to be 18 at the line, and Ray Kingsbury going to have a ton of fun trying to hold him off. Ray Kingsbury, of course, over the radio, wishing everybody else best of luck the rest of the way. There you see the pace car to the inside. Ray Kingsbury, as soon as the pace car drops down, he is gone. He is gone, and he's going to take it by about 7 or 8 car lengths. Fantastic jump for him. Can he continue to hold this? Because we just talked to Blake. He's got to have the slipstream. As Goke complaining over the radio, maybe someone made an illegal move to the outside or to the inside early on. But so far, so clean. As now Ray gonna open up the inside. Here comes Blake Reynolds. Reynolds to the inside. P1 for him, and possibly a freight train Joe Branch to P number 1 or to P number 2. Ray Kingsbury dropping well back. Oh, here's a huge run though for Ray Kingsbury. Is he gonna dive to the inside? No, not yet. Who's to the point? Oh, clipping the apron. Fantastic bit of driving and clipping it back behind. Wow, that's going to bring out a caution. Blake Reynolds and Dan Enge gets collected that one as well. I think that was, yeah, Blake Reynolds clipped the apron. Everybody checked up back behind him. So what happened there? Not sure. So here's a look at what happened here. So Ray Kingsbury on the outside. You see him getting a huge run down the back. And you see Blake Reynolds clips the apron. Oh, and he just gets punted from behind. Is that the 199 of Josh Clogg? It is. So Clogg just absolutely gets into the back of him. They all just pile in behind him. Wow. Yeah, so Blake Reynolds clipped the apron there and just trying to hold on to the lead, just a little too far low on corner exit of 4. Looks like there's some damage as well. Yeah, there you see it, the 42, a big dog. Yeah, front right sheared off of that car. Front nose is missing as well. So he's going to have his car worked on as well. Gonna have to see what happened there. There you see, what happened to our race leader, Ray Kingsbury? Ray Kingsbury looks like he's come down pit road. He talked about sending himself to the back. I'm gonna bring him in here real quick. We'll see what we can do here. Ray, we see you dropping to the back here. What happened?
Well, I went on when the pace car pulled off, and I didn't realize that was an issue. So it gave me a black flag, and I was like, well, that's not normal. So I cleared it, and people were not happy about that. So I'm just going to go to the back and make that right.
Gotcha. So it was nothing to do with the incident back behind you?
No.
Okay, so you're going to drop to the back, and that makes sense. Any thoughts on the incident that occurred?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. All I know is that if in my opinion, if people get a jump start penalty, we're going to clear it in the future, but I'll have to investigate and talk to Kieran about the rules. Just seems silly to limit the race leader when the pace car is off the track.
All right, man.
Maybe
well,
it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it was very close from our end. It looks like you might have been pretty close to it being before the commitment cone, but hey, you know what? We've got 14 laps of racing. You got some work to do here, so best of luck the rest of the way. That's Ray Kingsbury. You hear it there. He penalized himself after apparently jumping a restart that he was in control of. So, going to have to see how that one plays out. So Blake Reynolds to the point. But yeah, Blake Reynolds is going to go to the point, and then Josh Klog and Krisha Melchek. So a couple of... actually, you know what? Does Josh Klog have damage? I thought that I saw him get collected in that one. No, he does not have any damage. So it looks like Klog is going to be sitting there ready for it. Looks like we're going to have some fun up here in the ASN Media and Mike Berry joining me the rest of the way. Mike, interesting race we've had so far.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we had actually it was a pretty strong car. Car was pretty nice. It was basically just a fixed setup, but you know, I got a little bit too. I was playing around the weight checker when I wrecked, coming out of 2, just a little bit too light, and then yeah, obviously ended up how it did. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad run. Car speed, probably the last race I'm doing this season. I didn't even expect to be able to do this one, so you know, I'm thankful to be able to have that opportunity. But yeah, let's watch some racing.
Yeah, Blake Reynolds out front, and he's had some interesting racing around him. It sounds like Ray Kingsbury just absolutely jumped to start before the pace car took to pit road. So Ray just went too early. He sent himself to the back. But Blake Reynolds out front, and he's had a gaggle of cars back behind him. Klog, Malcharek, and Brian Son right back behind him. Matt Kingsbury, I'm surprised he fell off like a rock just before those pit stops. So gonna have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I've been talking to Blake all night, and he's a little bit surprised at how the cars, as you were saying earlier, but yeah, I think he's got a good shot at winning this. You know, he's not exactly underestimating Josh Klog and Christian Malcharek.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen multiple of these guys, you know, just absolutely race their butts off tonight. Your, of course, first race winner was Josh Klog. So he started on pole, and that was without a pit stop. So strategy came into play for him there. This second race has been a lot cleaner, as we expect to hopefully go green the rest of the way here. We still have some time left here in race number 2, but the pace car pulls off, and a huge jump for Blake Reynolds, who's going to have to do everything he can to protect the inside here on the restart. As here comes Ray Kingsbury. I think he's going to serve a stop-go and caution out already.
Ooh, let's see what it was. Just a spin, maybe.
I don't see a car slow on track, so I'm not sure what brought out that caution.
We're gonna take a look at the replay here on the main screen. Oh, just can't tell who that was going in, but he just clipped. That was Matt Kingsbury there. He just clipped the grass.
Matt Kingsbury, that's a driver you don't see that mistake too often. He is a very skilled driver in these cars. Of course, we see him, maybe pinch down just a little bit by Brian Son as well. But the biggest thing that surprised me is the fact that that brought out a caution. There was no other cars involved in the contact, and he was off the racing line by the time that he spun. So maybe it was just enough with cars around him. But anyway, I'm going to have to see how this plays out. Man, the way the caution played out, it's taken a little bit of time. It's going to be an interesting restart here if you're Blake Reynolds.
Definitely. I mean, you know, Matt Kingsbury wasn't exactly slow, but you know, he obviously, I mean, he was kind of falling off a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see, can he maybe rally back to a top 5? And I mean, also, we're looking at Ray Kingsbury right now. He's 12th to lap down. 12th, not a lap down yet. He's able to get away with staying on the lead lap due to that caution. But if he can, you know, if he can even try and salvage him, he's probably not going to win this race. But, you know, points, I think is what his mindset's going to be now.
I wouldn't expect him to get much better than a top 10. That just the way that this penalty has fallen for him, he jumped the restart and, you know, he's in control, but when you jump it way too early, I mean, that's what's going to happen. So just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. A couple of laps to go here. Under 10 to go in the race. You see their timing and scoring at the top left of your screen. Just kind of patience for these guys. Yeah, I mean, under 7 minutes, the way the caution, if we're green to the end from here, we're gonna, you know, we're definitely gonna get this in on laps, but wow.
It's gonna, I mean, you know, we don't really want to see 2 races end in time, and we were lucky actually to get that long green flag run there. I think it was about 25 laps-ish, 25, 30 laps, which, you know, definitely gave us this window that we're gonna have. I mean, Blake Reynolds, I think the racer in him wants to see it go green to the end, but the winning or the cheap win inside of him, which, you know, I'm not saying he has, but I think they want to see that going right to a time limit. So, you know, it's all about that mindset. I mean, you know, Blake's in a really good spot right now. He just has to capitalize on it.
And under 10 laps to go. It's probably going to be about 7 to go, I believe, if my math is right.
I think it's all going to be dependent. Are we going to see the lights go out this time? And
across the start-finish line? No, not yet. So I believe it's going to be about 7 laps to go. We'll keep you posted on that. But what's your thoughts, Mike? It's the first oval race, I think, period, here in NASA history. What are your thoughts on how it's turned out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an oval guy primarily. I do a lot of sprint. I do sprint cars and silver crowns and stuff.
You don't do tour mods at all?
Surprisingly, no. I don't like how they drive on iRacing, which, you know, the guys on my team would probably kill me for saying, but, you know, they'll.
For those not in the joke, Mike works on tour modifieds in the real world, so that's where that joke came from. But anyway. Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, I mean, it's just been it's a whole different experience, I think, for a lot of the guys who are used to, you know, guys coming over from the sports car series and from the Rallycross Challenge. It's just you know, they get to try something else, which is maybe it's a whole different world over an oval race. It's just all about, it's more about momentum. It's more about, I mean, I've always said it's more like road you're racing the track, oval you're racing other drivers. They're both valid in each, but, you know, the ovals, in what they don't have in complexity, they make up for in I guess competition. And I mean, I completely agree. Especially with the fact that, I don't know. I mean, just in general, like, you know, in ovals, they're always raced against somebody. There's always somebody, even if it's a lapped car like they're going to be right on your keister. Like there's nowhere for you to go, nowhere for them to
Especially in
go, and
IndyCar.
all that kind of stuff. So, especially here in IndyCar, when you're turning a full 1.5 miles in 25 seconds, I mean, there's nowhere for anybody to go. We'll get strung out here in about 5 laps, and everybody will just kind of be all over each other. So,
And here we go. Lights are out on the pace car, by the way. We're going to be going back green here with 6 to go.
yep, lights out on the pace car. They worked their way off of turn number 2,
And this next flag will basically end the race, I think.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, under 3 minutes to go under 4 minutes to go. Yeah, the next flag pretty much will end the race. Blake Reynolds still out front, and the guys back behind have to remember, tires are going to be cold here on this restart. We've seen Ray Kingsbury get through one restart clean. Can he get through a second?
Blake was telling me earlier when he was about like lap 20, he was like the heat cycles are becoming kind of hell. So hopefully you can avoid those problems and come away with a win here. I think that'd be good momentum going for the rest of the season. Also don't count out Josh Clog now as here comes the pace car pulling off.
Yeah, biggest thing to note, by the way, Brian Son, the underdog here, racing P number 4. Somehow, out of nowhere, green flag throwing a huge jump once again from Blake Reynolds. Your front two have a huge jump over third place Christian Wilczarek. And we're going to have to see if they can't keep things single file. They do. It's a huge gap back from first to second, and then from second back to third. But a battle for fourth is on, and it's going to be Cody Erdman getting by Brian Son. And they're still side by side for the lead.
Yeah, and we're looking right now. We're going to see if we can get back up with that leader right now. We're watching those two battle for. There's the battle for the lead now. Blake Reynolds about 10 car lengths out in front, but 10 car lengths is almost nothing to see a car spinning to the infield. Do not come back on the track. Oh, please stay green there.
Yeah, that's the 10 of Jack Belton that went to the inside. He's going to get things back rolling in the right direction. Keep things on the apron. Does not bring out another caution. We're side by side for the lead once again. Diving back into turn number 1. And fantastic battling that it is. Because Blake Reynolds back to the point. Josh Clog tries to go 2 for 2. He cannot do it yet. Can he get there? No, down the back. Oh, fantastic defensive drive. They're weaving all down the back straight away.
And going into turn 3 right now, into turn 4, these turns are going so fast right now. You're going to watch on board with Josh Clog. He's going to get that run. He's running a higher lane than Blake Reynolds. He wants to get that momentum. Look at him right now in turn 1. See, he's basically not diamonding in, but almost just way higher, cutting it down. He's going to get that momentum off of 2.
John Goku had a fantastic run in race number 1, taken out by an incident midway through the race. He's worked his way all the way back under third. He was third at the line, dropped back down to fourth, back behind Cody Erdman now. But this battle for the lead is still not over. 2 laps to go between these two, and they're not giving each other an inch.
And it is 2 laps to go. Yes, look at it coming out of turn 2. Blake Reynolds still holding off. He's a master of controlling the air. He gets that experience from the Coke Series. Those Gen 6 stock cars are all about dirty air, and he's going to be behind.
That's a big rack back behind. That's John Goat back involved in that.
Yeah, John Goat, and I believe is that I can't tell.
That was Harley Moss in there as well in the 3.
What a turn of events that was.
They were. I told you they were shuffling hard back for position. That was 4 in the top 5. They were battling for the top 5 positions there, but that's going to end this race.
And what an ending to that. Blake Reynolds just, kind of started really didn't think he was going to have that strong of a run in his own words coming into this race. Comes home with the win in race 2. How about that? We're going to, once he crosses this line here, we're going to let him do a cool down lap, maybe a little bit of a burnout. We're going to pull him in for an interview. Behind him, Josh Clog and Cody Inman routing out our podium.
Yeah, wow. By the way, I just want to point out here, Ray Kingsbury served himself a penalty, came back down pit road a second time to make sure, just everybody was appeased by his serving of the penalty.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
He was back in 12th. He was back in 12th, and Ray Kingsbury went from 12th to 5th.
And we've had a bit of chaos here. Right at the end of the race, a couple guys hooking right. Hopefully, that's not going to cause any problems for our timing score. And producer's saying it might. So we're gonna, hope to God we're gonna see if any penalties gonna be addressed later on because of that. I don't think that's gonna fly.
Yeah,
And-
remember, results here are unofficial. I think the field is going to be technically frozen under caution here. So results are going to be unofficial. But here's a replay of the wreck once again. This is the wreck that happened that brought out the last caution. There you see Gok, that Rainbow Warrior scheme. He had a huge run here down the back. Oh, and it looks like he tried to hold the inside when there just wasn't room there when Harley Moss peeked his nose. Just the call from his spotter was not in time. And so Harley Moss unfortunately got his nose chopped off in that one.
Yeah, Harley Moss. To say something real quick, he was making some pretty aggressive moves. I almost had an incident with him, but
I wonder if we can't see that one more time from the onboard of Harley Moss because that was very close from him. Because I think that he definitely, here's a look at the onboard. He peeks to the inside. He shows his intent. He's definitely there, and just gives him nowhere to go. It's an aggressive move for sure, but his nose is definitely there on turn in. So, unfortunate move there, but Blake Reynolds gets the win. What a fantastic race here. Wow, that's all I can really say.
I think that's all that needs to be said.
A fantastic race and all around just a great battle. Let's bring him up here. He's doing some donuts right now, so let's take a look here. Let's see if we can't get a word with him. Blake, what a win!
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know what to say. Like, I did not think I had the car to be able to do this. I didn't expect Ray Kingsbury to make a mistake like that in his own league. I don't know. I'm speechless at how I did this. Oh, tires are flat.
You flattened the tires. You burned it out maybe too well. But no, talk to us about that race because you and Ray had a battle going on the entire time. And then, of course, he got his penalty, went into the back, but you still had a fight on your hands.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I just didn't know what people had in their cars. I just felt like there were a lot of better cars in the dirty air, and I just didn't know who would get clear and be able to make a run at us. But the guys up front seemed to be pretty equal there at the end. And then, I don't know, Josh got a couple runs on me that, like, I was nervous. I just didn't know what he was going to do in 1 and 2. He kept backing off, and I think he was just waiting for that last lap. But thankfully, that caution came out, and I was able to hang on.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. It's the first ever oval race, to my knowledge, here in both NASA history, but also the Championship Series history. What are your thoughts on just racing in ovals here?
I didn't have a really good experience at Indies and ovals other than Indianapolis. That's really the only place I race them. But this was surprisingly good once it went green. The restarts in the pack, it just with the dirty air, it's really frustrating. But once it clears out, it's a lot like what I do in the in the Gen 6 oval stuff with the 550 high downforce stuff. It's quite similar. We're obviously just going like 100 mile an hour faster, which is scarier. So,
is it mentally different at all when you don't have to lift for these corners?
Well, actually, the inputs are very similar to the Cup car, especially on an open set. It just not lifting all the way out of the throttle, just waiting for it to bite and just cranking it hard left, hope you don't hit the wall in the exits, picking your line and just finding that clean air. It's very similar, but it just everything happens faster.
Well, hey, a fantastic win for you. Anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, actually, everyone at McLaren Shadow. Obviously, we're repping the McLaren scheme. Dead Zone Racing. I'm repping for this championship. Single car right now. Maybe we'll get some more into the championship. Ray Kingsbury for putting this on. You guys for broadcasting. You guys do good every week. Nitro Circus for supporting this championship. And yeah, I think that's it.
Well, hey, congratulations on the win and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's Blake Reynolds, your winner here tonight. And it looks like, Mike, you've caught up with our second place finisher, Josh Clogg.
Yes, I have. Josh Clogg, you came home with the win in race 1 and just short in race 2. Take us through both of those and, yeah, take it through.
Yeah, that first one was just pure chance. 100%. I wish I could say I planned some strategy, but after all those first cautions, I had to clutch to keep the car temperature down anyway. So at that point, I was good on fuel. I think I had 19 laps of fuel left at the end of the first one. So that was just luck. Second one just kind of held out. Didn't want to really battle too hard. Let the guys up front do the battling and just kind of stuck with it, and it worked out.
Yeah, and I mean, we obviously didn't get to finish that last race under you. You think you had anything for Blake coming to white flag there? I know you look like you were getting a lot of runs off of 2 there, but
yeah, I was trying a couple of different lines to see if I could, get up to him by the line, but pretty much every line was just short. So I don't know. It'd be hard to say. I think I did have a good run on that last lap set up, but all good. First and second for the night. I'm happy with that.
yeah, I guess. Let's see if I can... Chad, you got anything to say before I wrap it up? I'm kind of out of. I didn't plan on interviewing tonight, so.
Mike doesn't do any prep for these shows. Josh,
I was racing.
Josh, how does it feel to take the first ever oval win here in this series in the first race?
Shocking.
I mean, you had to think there was some strategy to that at some point, right? With so many cautions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, after the first couple cautions, I thought, all right, well, I've only got a couple more laps left to save, so let's go for it. And like I said, I had to clutch in to keep the car temps down anyway. So between that and the fuel map under caution, just happened to work out.
Yeah, when you went green for that final time in that first race, are you just kind of praying like, please somebody crash behind me?
I did think that at one point, yep. But then I thought we were still gonna have another lap on the green at the end, so I wasn't sure about it, but it all worked.
Well, hey, congratulations on the win of the first race, and hey, you finished second in the end, so a fantastic night for you.
Yep, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Anybody to thank for you?
Oh yeah, all the smart guys. Ray definitely put some. Ray and David, Trevor, everybody put some work in on the setup. So it certainly worked.
Hey, congratulations! A great night. Seeing we'll see the rest of the way.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Yep, that's Josh Clogg, your winner and second place finisher here tonight, and one final interview to join us for the evening, and that's Cody Erdman, driver of the number 17. Cody, what a way to start the oval season for you.
Yeah, it was great. Unfortunately, our normal driver of Chris Dickinson wasn't able to make it, so he gave me the keys to his ride for the night. And first race, unfortunately, made a couple of mistakes, not being really used to the Indy cars. But second race, my man Chris Hickman, unfortunately, he got caught up in an accident early, but he kind of helped me, showed me a couple tricks to do in the Indy car, and I was able just to drive up right through the field and was able to battle with Blake and Ray. So big shout out to my man Chris Hickman. It wasn't, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been top 5 for sure. So
yeah, what's it feel like having such great teammates, with you in a series like this, where you've got, say Team Spark, where they have 8 drivers on 2 teams. What's it feel like, competing against those guys?
It was definitely great having teammates that are, especially Hickman. He knows these cars. He's ran them a lot, so he was able to give me a couple like tricks on what settings I want to be when and everything, because there's so much adjustability that in the GT stuff and the stock car side that I'm not used to, at least, because that's kind of the 2 things I dabble in. So I'm used to the oval, but not with having 800 adjustments to do on the fly. So it was great to have someone kind of coaching me through it and understanding how to be able to battle with Blake and Ray.
Yeah, what's it feel like getting a podium finish against guys like Blake Reynolds, who we all know he's a very talented driver, and Ray, we've seen him in these cars time and time again, but just in general.
Yeah, it was, once I got up there and I saw who I was racing, I felt comfortable because I've seen Blake run in the Coke Series, and then I've seen how Ray knows exactly what he's doing in these cars. So I have the most respect for him, or most respect for both of those guys and their racecraft. So just want to give a shout out to Mystery Apparel, Vertigear, you guys here at ASN, Nitro Circus, and Slipstream Media. Victor, he designed all of our stuff for the IndyCar side, so I want to give a shout out to him and Chris Hickman and my lovely girlfriend that's 7 hours away. So love you, and see you in 2 weeks when we go to Bristol.
It's Bristol, baby.
Yeah, I will unfortunately not be here for the Indy GP. I will be in Bristol.
Well, hey, no, congratulations on the podium finish tonight, and we'll see you, I guess, tomorrow night in Coda. But
Yes.
fantastic job here, and I guess best of luck the rest of the way, man.
Thank you. Well, can't wait to see you guys next week or tomorrow, hopefully.
Yep, that's Cody Irvine, your third place finisher here for the second race tonight. But fantastic racing all around here in the first oval race and the second race of the Arcade Designs Championship Series, presented by Penguin Simulation and powered by Nitro Circus. For everybody here at Nitro Circus, for Zach Johnson, Mike Berry, Dylan Livengood, Josh Mertz, Ray Kingsbury, just everybody over here. We're all set to have a great time tomorrow night, same time, same place. We're going to have a fun time from the Circuit of the Americas. We will see you then. And join us in 2 weeks as well as we join you from the road course at Indianapolis. But until then, we'll see you next time here on Nitro Circus. Bye-bye.